The American dream. You know the one. Work hard, buy a house, raise a family, and move up in the world. But for most, that dream now feels out of reach. Bootstraps? Most can't even afford the boots. The promise of success is now a moving target, with the finish line getting further away and a toll booth in front of it. For millions, the dream isn't just fading, it's crumbling. Cities like New York, Louisiana, and San Francisco, once symbols of opportunity, have become gilded cages. High salaries are devoured by the cost of living. It's like winning a pie-eating contest where the prize is more pie. People are working harder, juggling multiple jobs, but stuck in a financial hamster wheel. The engine of upward mobility has stalled. A generation ago, you'd almost certainly do better than your parents. Now, it's a coin toss. The basics, a home, a secure job, a safe neighborhood, are now luxury items. So, people are making a radical choice. They're leaving. They're abandoning the cities their families have lived in for generations because the path forward has become a cliff. This isn't just a few people moving for a change of scenery, it's a mass exodus, a quiet migration driven by the realization that the American dream might not be in America's biggest cities anymore. For many, it might not be in America at all. The dream is broken, and people are searching for the pieces somewhere else. Let's talk about housing, the soul-crushing vortex of financial despair. Buying a home used to be the cornerstone of middle-class life. Now that slice of pie costs more than the entire bakery. In the 1980s, the median home price was about 3 times the median income. Today, in cities like San Jose, it's over 10 times. You'd need to save for decades, only to find the house even further out of reach. Imagine trying to buy an $800,000 avocado, competing with corporations in a bidding war, waiving all inspections and praying the inside isn't rotten. That's the American housing market. Fundamentally, unequivocally, bananas. Why? We haven't built enough homes, especially affordable ones. Wall Street firms buy up single-family homes, turning them into rentals and squeezing supply. Add restrictive zoning laws and regular families are competing with global capital. Spoiler, it's not a fair fight. The dream of homeownership is becoming a statistical impossibility for an entire generation. A person earning the median income can't afford the median-priced home in 99% of US counties. Let that sink in. 99%. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning while winning the lottery than affording a typical house in most of the country. This isn't a market correction, it's a breakdown of the social contract. The ladder to prosperity has been pulled up, and those at the top are telling us to just learn how to fly. For many, the only option left is to walk away. So, you've beaten the housing market and bought a home. Congratulations. Your prize? Skyrocketing homeowners insurance. In states like Florida and California, insurance premiums have become the breaking point. It's not just the mortgage you can't afford, it's the mandatory protection for the thing you just bought. Why the spike? Climate change. More hurricanes, wildfires, and floods mean insurers are paying out more, and raising rates for everyone. Some insurers are even leaving entire states, leaving homeowners stranded. Imagine living in coastal Florida. Your insurer bails, and now you're uninsurable. You can't sell, can't protect your home, and you're trapped. One Florida homeowner saw their premium jump from $3,000 to $11,000 a year. Who can sustain that? This isn't just a coastal problem. Wildfires, hail, and tornadoes are spreading risk everywhere. Insurance companies are the unwilling prophets of climate change, and their warnings come as exorbitant premiums and non-renewal notices. For families already stretched thin, this is the final straw. They're being priced out not just by the market, but by the very planet itself. The dream of a safe, secure home is being washed away one disaster at a time. For many, the only way out is to leave. The American dream is now a gamble against nature, and the odds are getting worse. For decades, a good job meant moving to a big, expensive city, enduring commutes and sky-high rents. Then the pandemic hit, and suddenly, the office became optional. Remote work broke the link between job and location, and people realized they could have a big city salary with a small-town cost of living. The great urban exodus began, not with a bang, but with the hum of moving trucks. Families escaped the financial pressure cooker of major cities and finally achieved a quality of life that was once unattainable. As one former LA resident said, "I got my life back. I work the same hours, but I'm not exhausted and broke all the time." But this shift isn't without problems. The influx of high-earning remote workers is driving up housing prices in their new towns, creating affordability issues for locals. Tech-fueled gentrification is creating new tensions. the dream for newcomers can become a nightmare for those priced out of their own communities. The game of musical chairs continues, the chairs are just in a different room. Still, for many, remote work was an escape hatch from a broken system. The American dream is being redefined, one Zoom call at a time. The question is, who gets to keep playing and who gets left standing? Let's talk about safety, or the feeling of being unsafe. Official stats may say crime is down, but that means little if you see chaos on your streets or in viral videos. In many cities, there's a sense that things are fraying, more homelessness, mental health crises, and smash-and-grab robberies. The perception that police can't or won't respond to minor crimes creates an atmosphere of impunity. Whether or not you're statistically at risk, if you're unsafe, that feeling shapes your reality. Families, especially with young kids, start asking, is it safe to play in the park? Ride the subway, walk to school? One father who left Portland said, "It wasn't one big thing, it was 1,000 little things. We just wanted a place that felt stable." This isn't about politics, it's about wanting order and predictability in daily life. When that breaks down, people lose faith in institutions. The social fabric tears, and those with the means to leave do. They seek places where the gap between perceived and actual safety is much smaller, and cities lose the very families that once held them together. Taxes, the price we pay for civilization, or the subscription fee for a service that's always buffering. For families already struggling, the tax burden can be the final push out the door. High-tax states like California and New York versus no-income tax states like Texas and Florida, the difference is stark. Moving from California to Texas could mean an extra $10,000 a year in your pocket. That's not just a vacation, that's breathing room. It's not just the super rich, it's a middle-class issue. Combine high income, property, and sales taxes, and the effect is crushing. People are doing the math and realizing their dollars go further elsewhere. The great tax migration is reshaping America's economic map. As the tax base shrinks in high-tax states, services decline and the cycle worsens. More and more families are looking for an exit and a fairer deal. Put it all together, unaffordable housing, soaring insurance, safety concerns, crushing taxes, and you get a direct assault on the American middle class. The middle class was never just an income bracket, it was a promise of stability. Now, even six-figure earners in big cities are living paycheck to paycheck with little to no savings. They have the income of the upper class, but the security of someone barely getting by. The rungs on the ladder of economic mobility are being sawed off, one by one. The goal is no longer to get ahead, but just not to fall behind. Families aren't just chasing lower costs, they're chasing a viable future. They want a place where hard work means real security, not just treading water. The dream hasn't just moved, it's been foreclosed on, and people are searching for a new address. For some, the search for a better life means leaving America entirely. Faced with high costs and declining quality of life, families are becoming expatriates. They look to countries like Portugal, Spain, or Mexico, where the cost of living drops and the social safety net is stronger. Affordable healthcare, walkable cities, and a slower pace of life are a welcome shock. One American in Portugal said, "In the US we were constantly stressed. Here, that anxiety is just gone." These aren't just retirees, they're young families and professionals seeking a different formula for happiness. Moving abroad isn't easy, but the fact that so many are willing to try speaks volumes. For some, the American dream is so broken that starting over abroad seems easier than fixing it at home. The ultimate escape isn't to the suburbs, it's across the border. And the trend is only growing. So what's next? If the middle class keeps fleeing, what's left of our cities? We could see a two-tiered society, extreme wealth alongside extreme poverty with little in between. Cities lose their tax base, essential workers, and community leaders, leading to a downward spiral of declining services and infrastructure. The dynamism that made cities great withers, leaving hollowed-out shells for the ultra-rich and tourists. But maybe this migration is a wake-up call. Cities might finally tackle housing, safety, and education, rethinking the social contract. Crisis can be a catalyst for change. The future of the American city, and the dream itself, isn't written yet. The choices we make now will determine the outcome. So would you stay or would you go?